Hello students, welcome to the 11th class chemistry session. 11th class is different than 10th class because in the 10th class we study science for 100 marks, where out of 100 marks chemistry is approximately 33 marks. But in the 11th class we study chemistry for 100 marks. Therefore, 11th class and 12th class both are called specialized courses in the science stream. So, I welcome once again for the 11th class chemistry session, starting from the first chapter, and its name is Some Basic Concepts of Chemistry. Before we go into the 11th class journey, with our existing knowledge, with our present knowledge, with our prior knowledge, we will study meaning of chemistry. That's why I have written prior knowledge to embark and venture into the 11th class journey. Here are some meanings for the subject chemistry. Different ways of explaining what is chemistry. In that, I feel the meaning number 4. Chemistry is the science of atoms, molecules, and their transformations is very important and is meaningful because atoms and molecules are the two basic units of science. Whatever we see variety or the complexity in the nature is because atoms and molecules are undergoing changes. Atoms and molecules are reacting. They are undergoing transformations. That's why the meaning number 4 is somewhat better. That is, chemistry is the science of atoms, molecules, and their transformations. Now we'll go to the one more point after knowing the meaning of chemistry. How many branches are there in the chemistry? So that we'll come to know how many varieties are there, how many chapters are there in the chemistry. So these are the 5 main branches of chemistry: physical, inorganic, organic, analytical, and biochemistry. Nowadays, we can't study one subject as a whole. Present education system is called overlapping of subjects or correlation of subjects. That's why in this chapter we study the combination of minimum 2. Accordingly, we have classified 5 branches of chemistry. The first one is physical, where it is the combination of physics and chemistry. There are some chapters where they are common in both physics and chemistry. One best example is thermodynamics. We study both in physics and chemistry. The second branch of chemistry is inorganic chemistry. Inorganic, inorgan, not required for the organ. That means except carbon, out of 92, what we have naturally occurring elements, chemistry of all other 91 elements comes under the inorganic chemistry. Whereas the third one, organic chemistry, this is chemistry of only carbon compounds, carbon and its compounds. Why separately branch is made for the organic chemistry, for the carbon chemistry? Because it is the unique nature of carbon, unique place of carbon on the modern periodic table, because of small size, because of electronegativity, because of combining with other elements, because of combining with itself. So there are many plus points with the carbon element. So because of its special combining capacity or the valency of carbon, separate branch is made. And carbon's best friend is hydrogen and the oxygen. That's why we have more compounds of C, H, and O. Afterwards, the remaining compounds are called as the derivatives are derived from this CHO. Therefore, compounds of carbon are more in nature. Truly speaking, if you put compounds of carbon one side and compounds of all other 91 other side, you will see that compounds of carbon are far more than the compounds of all other 19 elements put together. That shows the combined capacity of carbon. That's why, keeping this point in the mind, separate branch is created, made, that is known as organic chemistry. Now the fourth one, analytical chemistry. Here we go for analytical part of the matter. We analyze. Depend upon the analysis, we take the decision. For example, farmer can take the decision which crop he has to grow depend upon the analysis of the soil. In the same way, doctor can take the decision depend upon the analytical part of the urine or the blood, etc. So analytical chemistry plays very important in the chemistry, and it has got very good scope in future also. And the fifth and the final one is biochemistry. The name itself indicates it is a combination of biology and the chemistry. Here we highlight more on the biomolecules. For example, proteins, enzymes, vitamins, carbohydrates, nucleic acids. So study their structure, their functions, all comes under the branch known as the biochemistry, which is the combination of the biology and chemistry. So these are the five main branches of chemistry. In these five, further division is there that we study in the higher class. One more small point. See, we study chemistry. Why chemistry is very important? Why chemistry is so vast? Why you have to study? In only one sentence, I can say, without chemistry, science is incomplete. Without chemistry, science is meaningless. Therefore, chemistry we have to study. Now you can see the slide where I am showing you some uses of chemistry. Here are only some uses I am selected. There are list is very big. So many uses of science chemistry are there, but in that some I have selected. You can think of other uses also. Okay. Now we can conclude why is chemistry so important. Chemistry, the central science of the subject. Okay, boys. Now, students, next we'll go to the classification of matter. The two entities of the universe are matter and energy. Both are interrelated. This we have seen in the famous equation given by Albert Einstein, E equal to mc square, or E is proportional to m, where c is the constant if you remove the proportionality sign. That means energy and the mass are very much related by this equation. Therefore, these two are called as the two entities of our universe. Now, time being, we will not go for the energy part. We will study only the matter part of the matter part. So, to make our matter study easy, let us classify the matter. So, here is a chart where we will come to know how matter is classified. Matter is classified on the two grounds. One is physical classification, other one is chemical classification. Physical classification means what? It is classified just by the outside appearance without conducting any test or the experiment in the laboratory. Just to see, observe, touch, feel, you will classify. That comes under the physical classification. Whereas the other one, chemical classification, where you have to perform, you have to conduct certain tests, then you will come to know what is inside the matter. That comes under the chemical classification. So based on the physical classification, it is further classified as solids, liquids, and the gases. Now we will not go to the liquids and the gases part. Solids are further classified into crystalline solids and the amorphous solids. Crystalline is what? They have a definite structure. Whereas amorphous, they don't have any definite structure. So one best example is what? You would have seen the maida atta, which is very soft. That comes under the amorphous category. Whereas sugar, salt, when you touch it, you will feel crystals. That comes under the crystalline solids. Now, timing, we will stop here only. Whenever it comes, we will discuss about the crystalline and the amorphous. Now, come to this side, chemical classification. Further, matter is classified on the chemical classification ground into mixtures and the pure substances. Again, in the mixture, there are two ways: homogeneous and the heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous, where the components mix well, water and the sugar, these two they mix well. Petrol and the kerosene, they mix well. Homo, similar or the same combination, same composition. That's why the word is given homo. So homogeneous mixture means components mix well or uniform mixing. And the opposite of that is what? Heterogeneous, where components they don't mix well or ununiform mixing. G and the water, sand and the water, calcium carbonate and the water, iodine and the water. All these are comes under the category heterogeneous mixtures. Now, pure substance. Substance itself is the pure, but here he has given pure substance because in the ninth class we have studied that pure form of matter is called as substance according to the science. A common man will say that milk is a pure or ghee is pure, but actually, from the science point of view, milk is also a mixture, ghee is a mixture. So when you study science, when you study chemistry in detail, that time will come to know the real meaning of the substance. Substance is what? It is the pure form of matter. So when it is a pure form of matter, then examples are what? Examples are only elements and the compounds. Why? Because if you see the definition of elements from the past previous classes, elements are the substances made up of made from only one kind of atoms. That means in the element only one type of atoms are there. For example, pure gold. If you see, they are made up of only gold atoms. So it is called as element. By chance, if we find a small amount of silver in the gold, then it is not an element at all. It is not element. That is guaranteed. Whether it is a compound or a mixture, we don't know. But certainly, it is not an element. So element is a substance made from only one kind of atoms. In the same way, compounds. Compounds, if you go on dividing our compounds, you see, if you go to the mental picture of the compounds, at the microscopic level, we find small molecules. Okay, so they are all same molecules. That means what? Compounds are made from similar kind of molecules. Water is a compound. Methane is a compound. A glass of water is made up of millions of water molecules, which are exactly same, which are identical in all respect. Therefore, compounds and the elements for this reason they are called as pure substance because they made from only one type of small microscopic units. Now elements further classified into metals and non-metals. One more small category is there in this. They are known as metallites. We will study metallites in the next chapter. Now compounds are further classified into inorganic compounds and organic compounds were already explained under the slide branches of chemistry. So after knowing that, now we'll go to some other point known as properties of matter and their measurement. Yeah, please see the slide. Properties of matter below. You see, can the property be determined without changing the identity of the substance? If you say yes without changing, yes means what? Then it is physical property because in the physical properties, identity of the matter is not changed. It is maintained. So it is called as a physical property. For example, boiling point of water. Whether you are boiling water, water is water only. It has not lost the property. Water will convert from liquid state into the gaseous state. But it is H2O only. H2O has not undergone either decomposition or changing the property. Therefore, without changing the property, maintaining the identity, okay, they come under the what physical properties. If you say no, then it is called as what chemical property, where identity is lost. There is a change in the chemical behavior. So under that category, we say it may be reactivity or flammability or toxicity, ability to oxidize, heat of combustion, and so on. There are many variety of properties. Some I noted here. Now, under the physical properties, you see, does the property depend on the amount of substance? If it is yes, then they are classified or they are termed as extensive properties. For example, mass. What is the chart says? Does the property depend on the amount of the substance? If you say yes, then it is called extensive property. Mass is an extensive property. Why? Because property depends on the mass. More the mass, property differs. For example, 1 kilo of silver behaves differently one atom of solid behaves differently. So mass plays very important role. Amount plays very important role. Therefore, if it depends on the amount of substance, then they are called as what? Extensive property. Whereas if you say no for the statement, does the property depend on the amount of the substance? If it is no, then it is called as what? Intensive property. The best example for the intensive property is what? Boiling point. Whether you are boiling 1 liter or you are boiling 100 liter or you are boiling 10 crore liters, boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade only. It is not depending on the amount. So it is 1 ml or 1 liter or 100 liter. It is 100 degrees centigrade only. So it is not depending on the amount, that is termed as intensive properties. So about the intensive properties and the extensive properties, we learn in a separate branch known as thermodynamics. There separately we deal it. Now slide. Now please go through these 5 statements. I think after going through 1 or 2 statements, you can guess about what I'm going to explain or about what I'm going to tell to you all. Excuse me. It is about the measurement. Measurement plays very important role in the science. See the left topmost statement. Very important. The heart of science is measurement. Simply study is of no use. When you measure, when you conclude, when you decide, when we infer, then we come to the conclusion. So measurement is very important in the science. Okay, we'll see. Okay. Whenever we measure, we express in certain units. Unit always has 2 parts. One is number part and a unit part. For example, distance between Bijapur and the Bangalore is around 550 kilometers. 550 is the number, kilometer is the unit. Mass of one glass is approximately 20 gram. 20 is the number, gram is the unit. So in this way we express the measurements in units. There are many systems are there to express the units, but one common system as of now we follow. That system is called what? The International System of Units. All the scientists of the world in the Paris, they have taken the decision, and now they have concluded that we will follow only one system, that is known as what? The International System of Units. In short, it is called what? SI system. Now onwards, this system only. Please see the table. Here are the 7 basic quantity where in SI system we will follow: length, mass, time, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance, luminous intensity. So these are the 7 basic quantity. Others are there, but they are derived. So these are the fundamental or the basic quantities. Now, for them, name is given. For example, length is measured in the meter, mass in kilogram, time in second, electric current in ampere, thermodynamic temperature in Kelvin, amount of substance in mole, luminous intensity in candela, and the respective symbols are given in the 3rd column. And in the 4th column, they have given the definition for every unit. These definitions are only for the knowledge purpose, not for the exam purpose. So let's not go in detail about the definition part. 1 or 2 examples, 1 or 2 definition I can explain. For example, the first one, length. How the meter is made, the word meter is made. The definition says the meter is the length of the path traveled by light in vacuum during a time interval of 1 by 30 crore of a second. See, 1 by 30 crore of a second, that small part, that is called as the meter, because light travels at the speed of what? 30 crore meter per second. So keeping that velocity in the mind, they have made the unit for the length meter, very small. Light travels very fast. In the same way, we can see the what? Thermodynamic temperature, K. The Kelvin is the fraction of 1 by 273.16 of the thermodynamic temperature of the triple point of water. So here is one important phrase is what? Triple point of water. Triple point of water is all the three states of water, solid, liquid, and the gases, exist in equilibrium. Same time, they coexist at a particular temperature, at a particular pressure. That is known as the triple point of water. So that we learn in the thermodynamic timing and explain only about the triple point of water. So for that, how much is required? That is the Kelvin. So 1 Kelvin. So in the thermodynamics, we learn the graphical part, and the graph will cross the temperature scale at a 273.15. So all this extra study we study in the separate chapter known as thermodynamics. In the same way, amount of substance already we know from 9th class. It is expressed in the mole. The mole is the amount of substance of a system which contains as many elementary entities as there are atoms in 0.012 kilogram of carbon 12. In a simple way, 1 mole means 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 particles of that substance. Okay, like that for every unit there's a definition. Just to go through. We'll go to the next slide. So these prefixes we use in a system in terms of 10 to the power. Okay, so 10 to the power of positive number one side on the left side, 10 to the power of negative number on the right side. One small example, I'll say 10 to the power of 9 is called as giga unit. What we say, no, gigabyte, GB. Okay, in the same way, 10 to the power of -9 is called as what? Nano. Okay, so one sample to explain, to understand what type of prefixes we use in the SI system. Thank you very much for this session. Further, we study in our next session. Thank you.